Why is it that you, making $150,000 a year, are actually closer to going broke than someone making $40,000? This isn't alarmist. This is the real, living nightmare that the vast majority of American workers living in high-cost cities like New York, Silicon Valley, and LA are going through right now. You walk into a fancy corporate office every day, drive a $70,000 Tesla or Rivian, and occasionally post an Instagram story of your avocado toast brunch or a weekend getaway to Napa. On the surface, you are the standard urban elite. But only you know that if your company announced layoffs tomorrow, the money in your checking account probably wouldn't even cover 6 months of your rent, car payments, and student loans. That skipped heartbeat panic you feel at the end of the month looking at your Chase statement or Klarna installments, it's incredibly real. Today, I'm not here to tell you to stop buying $6 Starbucks lattes. That kind of budgeting just drains your willpower. I'm here to tell you why the more you make, the poorer you feel, and what that invisible black hole quietly sucking your wealth dry actually is. Let's do a highly realistic psychological breakdown. When you get a fat year-end bonus or finally land that promotion you've been grinding for, what is your first reaction? You probably think, I work my ass off. I'm replying to Slack messages at 9 p.m. I'm answering emails on the weekend. I finally made it, and I deserve a better life. So you move out of the apartment you share with roommates and rent a luxury downtown one-bedroom with floor-to-ceiling windows. You upgrade your perfectly fine iPhone to the latest Pro Max. You get an Equinox membership even though you barely go twice a month. You even bite the bullet and finance a luxury EV because you feel it matches your new professional status. In psychology, this is called compensatory consumption. Your brain is lying to you. It's tricking you into believing that your spending power equals your true wealth. Because your job is stressful, you use expensive purchases as retail therapy to compensate for your misery. On Wall Street, there is a specific acronym for people like you: Henry. High earners, not rich yet. Why does a $150K salary sound impressive but feel so fragile? Let's do the real math for the American middle class. Let's say you make $150K. Sounds like a lot, right? But after high federal taxes, state taxes like in California or New York, health insurance premiums, and putting a little into your 401k, your actual take-home pay is only around $7,500 a month. To match this $7,500 elite status, you rent a luxury apartment. Boom. Rent and utilities immediately wipe out $3,500. You have $4,000 left. The loan and full coverage insurance for that nice car you financed, at least $1,000. You have $3,000 left. You're probably paying $500 a month in student loans. As an urban elite, you have a social life, right? $100 weekend brunches, ordering Uber Eats because you're too tired to cook, buying expensive organic groceries at Whole Foods, grabbing some Lululemon gear. That remaining money melts faster than an ice cube in the sun. By the end of the month, not only have you saved nothing, but you might even float a few $100 on a credit card with a 24% APR just to make it to the next payday. You're making $150K a year, but your actual cash flow is negative. Meanwhile, the guy making $40K a year knows he's broke, so he plays defense. He splits a $1,000 apartment, drives a beat-up Honda Civic, buys groceries at Walmart, and meal preps. He consistently saves $500 a month no matter what. You, making $150,000, feel that your next paycheck is guaranteed, so you play crazy offense. But here is the fatal flaw. You aren't acquiring assets. You are acquiring liabilities. This is the #1 dividing line between the wealthy and the working class. You mistake fake assets for real assets. What is a fake asset? Anything you buy that not only doesn't make you money, but requires you to continuously bleed cash to maintain it. They are liabilities disguised as assets. Take the car as an example. A lot of people think, I spent $70K on a car, so I own a $70K asset. Dead wrong. The second you drive it off the lot, it depreciates by 20%, and every year after that, it continues to lose value while you pay high insurance and registration fees. You think you bought status, but on the ledger of capital, you bought a continuously bleeding wound. Your high salary didn't become a financial moat. It just became the assembly line funding these fake assets. You are sprinting on a treadmill, running faster and faster, but you haven't moved a single inch forward. Let me tell you a real Silicon Valley story. Let's call him Mike. Mike is a textbook Henry. At a young age, he became a senior software engineer at a big tech company. With his base salary and RSUs, restricted stock units, he was pulling in over $200K a year. He drove a luxury SUV, wore a Rolex, and his Instagram was just him skiing in Aspen or partying in Tulum. Then the tech winter hit and his entire division was laid off. At first, Mike was calm, thinking his resume would easily land him a new offer in a month. But 2 months passed and the job market was ice cold. By month 3, Mike's cash flow completely snapped. He was facing nearly $6,000 in hard monthly expenses between his exorbitant rent, car loan, and credit card minimums. To survive, he had to sell his beloved car to CarMax at a steep discount, taking a massive loss. The middle-class illusion he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars maintaining was completely shattered by a real survival crisis. Why do smart people fall into this trap? Because you are paying an incredibly expensive invisible tax called keeping up with the Joneses. Consumer society feeds you a template. Your income dictates what bag you carry and what car you drive. When coworkers are discussing buying mechanical watches or vacationing on the Amalfi Coast, if you don't keep up, you feel a deep fear of falling behind. The money you spend isn't buying a bag or a car, you are buying a ticket for security. Morgan Housel, author of The Psychology of Money, dropped a piercing truth. Wealth is what you don't see. You can see the Porsches people drive and the designer clothes they wear, but you can't see their bank balances, their Vanguard portfolios, or the massive credit card debt behind it all. True wealth is the money that hasn't been converted into stuff. Let's do the math. Suppose you spend an extra $2,000 a month on a car loan and high rent just to maintain that status. If you put that $2,000 into an S&P 500 index fund with an 8% average annual return, in 20 years, that money would turn into over $1.1 million. You are trading a $1.1 million future net worth for a piece of scrap metal that belongs in a junkyard in 15 years. This is exactly why highly paid professionals can't save money. If you want to break out of this death spiral, you need a fundamental cognitive shift. Starting tomorrow, before you make a big purchase, stop asking yourself, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" Instead, ask, "How much time and freedom will this money buy me?" If you really want to change your life, here are 3 immediate financial rules. Rule 1. Pay yourself first. Most people's logic is, income minus expenses equals savings. The result is usually 0. The correct logic is, income minus savings equals expenses. First, max out your 401k up to the company match. Don't leave free money on the table. Then, the day after payday, automatically transfer 20% of your money into a high-yield savings account or brokerage account. When your checking account only has 80% of your money left, you will naturally adjust your lifestyle to fit it. Rule 2. Focus on the big 3. Cut the financial tumors. Stop stressing over a $6 avocado toast. Focus 80% of your energy on optimizing your 3 core expenses: housing, transportation, and high-interest debt. If your rent takes up more than a third of your take-home pay, move. If you're still paying off credit card debt with a 20% APR, stop all non-essential spending right now and clear that debt. Once the costs of these big 3 drop, your cash flow is instantly revitalized. Rule 3. Beware of lifestyle creep. When your salary jumps from $80K to $150K, do absolutely not upgrade your living standards to $150K. Keep your lifestyle locked at the $80,000 level. That extra money is your VIP ticket to financial freedom. Finally, I want to ask you a question. What are we investing so hard and restraining our desires for? Absolutely not to be a boring miser. We do it to possess the most beautiful term in American finance, FU money. When you only have enough in your bank account for next month's rent and car loan, you are completely held hostage by your W-2 paycheck. When your boss makes you work the weekend, you have to compromise. You might despise your toxic workplace culture, but you don't dare quit because a 1-month gap will bankrupt you. But when you have $100,000, $300,000, or even $500,000 in index funds quietly generating returns for you, your world changes. You still go to work, but your aura is completely different. You can set clear boundaries. You dare to speak up in meetings. And if you run into a truly terrible boss, you can calmly drop your keycard on their desk and say, "Sorry, I quit." Then you turn around and walk away to find a career truly worth your time. This is the ultimate meaning of making money. The greatest use of money isn't to buy the world. It's to give you the leverage to say a big, fat no to the people and things you don't like. Strip away the fake middle-class disguise and build your true wealth mode. Your future freedom is worth far more than a $70,000 car.